Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amrita, and I'm part of the Critical Edge marketing team. Um, this afternoon, actually, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to a freewheeling chat that I'm having with Vani Gupta Dandia, who on the topic of building an entrepreneurial mindset. Before I begin, I'll just give you a brief introduction to Vani. She's an advertising and marketing professional, and with over 2 decades of industry experience, Vani set up her own venture called Cherry Peach Plum Growth Partners a few years ago. Vani, I have to say, I love that name for your firm. She's listed as one of India's hottest young executives under 40 by Business Today, and she works with young entrepreneurs and corporates, helping them leverage their marketing strategies to drive business growth. In her last stint at PepsiCo, she was the category leader for Indian snacks and led the turnaround of a massive $250 million brand from double-digit negative growth to a double-digit positive growth in 2 years. Thank you for joining us today, Vani. Let's get straight to it. So before I begin, this topic, building an entrepreneurial mindset, do you want to tell us a little bit in brief about your personal journey from a corporate professional to an entrepreneur?
Firstly, Amrita, thank you so much for having me on this show. This is a subject that's very close to my heart, and I'd love to share with the audience what I think of it. But because you talked about my name, give me 1 minute to tell you about why I'm called Cherry Peach Plum Growth Partners. It's a very unusual name, and this name comes from the Soka philosophy. It's a stream of Buddhism that I follow. It's Nichiren's Buddhism that I follow that says that each one of us is unique. Each one of us has very different characteristics and personalities, and each one of us must shine to our fullest potential. So we don't like to be like a cherry doesn't aspire to be a peach or a plum. A cherry wants to be the sweetest cherry that it can be. And so should all of us be the best that we can be. And this is true of businesses and brands as well. Every business and every brand has its own unique competitive context, its own unique challenges, and consulting cannot be a copy-paste. Consulting has to be personalized, which is why I thought this was a beautiful, apt name. And one of the other principles of marketing also is that one must be able to stand out. So I like to think of this name and the colors and everything that I'm associated everything that comes with this brand name helps me stand out versus all other consultants. So that's why Cherry Peach. Now, a little about my journey. So I've been all out and out an advertising and marketing professional. I started with advertising. I did 3 years with BBDO and Leo Burnett. I worked on Cosmopolitan, Adidas, Coca-Cola. And then I went on to join marketing companies. I started with Henkel. I launched Wheat with Reckitt Benckiser in India. Wheat is a hair depilatory cream, as you might be familiar. And then I went to Unilever. I worked in the Bangkok office for 5 years on the shampoo category, and then also on the tea category. Then joined Levers, where I met Pradeep Wadhwa, at PepsiCo. And at Pepsi, I started with new businesses, and then I worked on the entire Kurkure portfolio. So that I did for about 7.5 years. It was a very, very intense job. My last stint at the corporate world was a very, very intense job. And Pepsi is a little different. In fact, very, very different from Unilever, in the sense that Pepsi actually operates more like an entrepreneurial setup. And coming from Unilever, the difference was very, very stark. So at Unilever, everything is a regimented process. There is, minimal opportunity to mess up because everything is so regimented. As an individual, you can't really shake up the system because things are taken care of. But at Pepsi, both the opportunity to individually shine and to individually mess up are tremendous. So Pepsi expects that you work as a category leader, which means that the top line and the bottom line responsibility sits with the cat head. Unlike most other organizations where functions are tightly compartmentalized, over here we had business responsibility. So there was a year when Kurkure was extremely challenged. We were looking at a decline of 20%. And we took the call to actually slash our advertising and marketing expenditure to possibly the lowest that the brand had ever seen in the last 20 years. Now, this comes from an entrepreneurial mindset. It comes from a founder mindset. So I now come to, and I'm sure this is something that Amrita, your audience would like to know as to what is an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yes. What is an entrepreneurial mindset? And from that perspective, how is it different from, say, other mindsets, say a corporate mindset or any other mindset for that matter?
So first of all, when you become an entrepreneur, I must tell you about myself. You know, when I jumped ship, I was very, very excited at the possibilities. I was very excited about the idea of setting up my own organization. But I was also very, very scared because I didn't know what I didn't know. As an entrepreneur, you're always worried about, gosh, what am I not thinking of? What could go wrong? You know, how else can I save taxes? What else can I do to grow business? What else are others doing that I could do better? But the beauty also about being an entrepreneur is that you have to have the courage of going forward every day despite the fear. You know you could be doing things wrong, but you just have to take the plunge and you have to try swimming and get to the other side. And you just have to keep swimming. So for me, one of the biggest things was just this, which was when I jumped ship and I left PepsiCo, I had no clue. Will I make as much money? You know, I do have money in the bank, all right, but you know, 6 months later, we'll have to come back to Pepsi and ask for a job. What if I'm an utter failure? And I said that even if that be so, at least I'd have the satisfaction of knowing that I did try. I wouldn't have to sit at my desk and think, what if I had tried? You know, so that's number one. The second I figured is that as an entrepreneur, one doesn't have the choice but to network. Now, of course, even in a corporate setup, you have to network and you have to get to know all other stakeholders. And as you become more senior, it's not about competence. It's actually about your emotional intelligence and the ability to deal with and influence multiple stakeholders. But that becomes even more so as an entrepreneur. So for example, you know, a number of the companies that I work with, I work with brand managers or founders or employees at startup organizations who are literally half my age. And, you know, they have the designation of being a marketing director, blah, blah, blah company, which is a startup. Now, this child actually believes I'm the cat's whiskers. And here I am, who they are looking at as an external vendor of sorts. So I have to tell myself that I must respect the other person on the other side. You know, and I have to have tremendous patience to be able to connect with and be able to get my point across to the other side. So, you know, your ability to, you know, to stand up as a human being actually is tested more than anything else. It's not about your functional delivery. It's about how intelligent you become as an emotional and a social being, which is a real test in entrepreneurship. For me, I feel that my potential to earn is directly dependent on my ability to work with various kinds of people, really various kinds of people, you know, where I'm able to show respect and be able to get the best out of them, irrespective of the background or, you know, the worldview that they come from. Then the third thing I want to tell you is that as an entrepreneur, you are a little drop in the ocean. You're not even a drop. You know, you're the drop of a drop in the ocean. And how many entrepreneurs are there? One of the very important things, for example, why Say Cheese is doing this? Say Cheese is doing this also to be able to put their point across to the world. They're connecting with other women. It's about us being able to tell the world I exist in my own way, you know. So one of the things as an entrepreneur, irrespective of what you are doing, it's very, very important that you let the world know you exist. Whether it's your company or your brand or you as the founder of the company, you can't go to people, go in front of the camera, I can't speak up. That doesn't work. You have to acquire that ability. If you are shy to come in front of the camera, then you figure other ways by which your work becomes known. Can you put your employees in front of the camera? Can you put your clients in front of the camera? Can you put your other stakeholders in front of the camera? Can you do videos or some way, even if infographics only, some way by which your work becomes known? So as an entrepreneur, you don't have a choice but to make sure that people get to know you exist. People get to know what sort of person you are. It's also important to let your own personality shine. Eventually, everybody does with people. You know, people do business with me, not because of what Cherry Peach Plum as an organization puts on the table. No. It's
Sorry, Vani, I'm interrupting. Do you want to maybe switch off your video so we'll be able to hear you better?
And me. So business is actually business. So we remember and we connect people and allow people. I can't hear you, buddy. I can't hear you at all. You're saying something, but I can't hear you.
Do you want to switch off your video?
Yes, I'm ready. You saying something.
Yeah, I think that will help the bandwidth. We can can you hear me now?
Yes, it's been switched off now.
There was a slight interruption in between. So you were talking about the fact that you were saying people don't come.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, people don't come to Cherry Peach Plum because of Cherry Peach Plum. A lot depends on the individual who's representing Cherry Peach Plum. So they come to you because of your individual expertise. So it's very important for you to project yourself and show yourself. Was that what you were trying to say?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, great. So actually, you know, Vani, you've answered quite a few questions that I...
Yes, go ahead. I preempted. Yes. No, so I was saying there are two other things I wanted to cover about an entrepreneurial mindset. You know, the other thing is as an entrepreneur, one can't say, oh, ये तो मेरा काम नहीं है, या ये तो मुझे नहीं आता, या ये तो मैंने पहले कभी करा ही नहीं है. It doesn't work because as an entrepreneur, you have to be good at everything, and whether you're good at it or not, and you have to get the minimum done. You might have to write your entire website copy on your own, or you will have to send out invites on your own, or when you have to actually do the mic would go wrong. But this is your own company. It's your own company. You have to tell yourself, अगर नहीं आता तो सीख लो, or you get help from wherever else. But you've got to figure a way of getting this done. And if there is no other way, if you're not getting any other help, then you jolly well do it yourself.
I think, Vani, your voice is breaking again. Can you hear me?
So this is something that I've had to learn, and I'm so glad to be in this space because I think it genuine waters many a times because you learn. Again, sorry, Amrita, you're saying something.
No, no, go ahead.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Cool. And the last thing I wanted to say is that being an entrepreneur, you don't look for validation at all. You know, when we are in companies, then you are looking to receive a good word from your boss, or you're looking for a word of appreciation in the conference room. You're looking for a better appraisal. When you're an entrepreneur, there is no appraisal. You are on your own. So, this need for validation, including for me, by the way, when I do work for clients, I'm very clear now. Some clients will like my work, and some clients may not be able to all appreciate the work that I do, even if I believe I've done a great job. So it stopped mattering to me. If my client doesn't put in a good word for something that I feel I've done really well on, I don't let it get to me at all. I tell myself, so long as I feel done a good job, I'm fine. And of course, I will always work on improving myself, but I will never let the lack of validation ever get me down.
Okay, great. So, this is a question. We're very short on time, but I had one question that I think a lot of people think about. Um, is something like is becoming an entrepreneur something that you're kind of that's ingrained in you, or is it something that you can develop? Is there a seed there that you can develop? Because personally, I don't believe that everyone can be an entrepreneur, but I'm maybe the only one in that opinion. So the question is it something that's inbuilt or something that you can develop?
You know, Amrita, I think it's a function of what you want really badly. When you, and this is true for anything in life, you know, when a child wants something really badly, he or she will do whatever it takes to get there. You know, they'll scream, cry, try different ways, try emotional blackmail, try, whatever it takes. And similarly, is it so for the rest of us? When you really want something, and again, this is true in the corporate world as much as it is in as an entrepreneur, but you see, most of the successful entrepreneurs are successful because they're terribly passionate about something, where even if what they were setting out on as a path, even if that failed, they were so convinced about what they wanted to get to that they tried five other different things, or they reached out to five other different people or 50 other different people. Look at Richard Branson, poster boy in the entrepreneurial world. What all has he not done? When he had to sell wedding gowns, he put on a wedding gown himself. That huge hairy man, who would have imagined that a huge hairy man would put on lipstick and wear a wedding gown to sell his wedding gowns? It's all a question of what you want really badly. When you want something really badly to work, then you make it happen and you do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Vani, for taking the time today. We really, really appreciate you stepping out and spending this time with us. I wanted to take questions, but unfortunately, we're out of time. But thank you so much, and look forward to interacting with you in the future, hopefully on something.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed this, Amrita. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks,
Rajpreet.
Thanks, Vani.